Hi guys, welcome back to LPB Racing for the historic Open Wheel Championship on Project Cars 2. We are ready for race 2 here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Lotus 38 IndyCar. So it's Growly Bear on pole this time. So Growly Bear with a good pole position from Cyrex, and then Bidzster in third. So there's Growly going around the last corner, keeping it to a certain speed. Obviously single file start that we're opting for here. So it would be a 46 lap race. Just have to do an extra one to get in line. As we get ready for the start of this race then, everyone in line, waiting for the countdown. And they're off as everyone, Andrea gets alongside Bidzster and Colin goes alongside Spapper at the start. And contact already! And Bidzster's in the wall with Andrea and he's spun in front of the pack, bang! Oh, chaos, absolute chaos here. And we've only just gone about 100 metres. Everyone goes off there, but meanwhile Cyrex in the lead from Growly, and then it's Spapper from Stevie as Growly Bear goes off, he's into the wall as well. Oh, insane. Growly's off into the wall and he's up at the top of the banking. There goes everyone else rejoining, Neil, Andrea and co. But it's Stevie third, Spapper second, and Cyrex in the lead then. Cyrex in the lead, Stevie going up the inside of Spapper into turn 3. But can't quite get it. Wow, what chaos. We'll get some replays after this first lap, but we'll just go watch these guys through the last corner. So Cyrex in the lead from Spapper, Stevie and Callum on the back of these boys as well. So Callum on the back of these boys. Remember, this is a pit stop race, so you can't pit on the first 2 laps, and then you can pit from in between lap 3 and 45. So as they go across the line there, everyone else looking to try and catch up. So we'll get those replays into the start now. Okay, here's a replay of the start then on board with Bidzster. So we go on to the start. Then Andrea comes here, comes across, and then it's Bidzster into the wall. Chain reaction, Bidzster's lost control. Unfortunately, Neil, Bradders and TY unfortunately caught up in that. Bidzster's on his roof, then he can't recover until TY gets going. So, because he can't reset himself until TY gets going, and there we go. And then now let's have a look from Andrea's point of view. So we're going down, we get to the start, we've moved to go past Bidzster, then we move across, and then we're hitting wheel-to-wheel contact. Hit Bidzster, and then Bidzster spins in front of the pack, but then bang, TY gets hit as well. And then we've got Bradders gets tangled up with Andrea as well. And now let's take a look from Bradders' point of view at the back of the grid. So we're getting ready for the race start here. Off we go, everyone's away, and it all looks like a clean start until wheel-to-wheel contact. Bidzster and Andrea off to the left. Bidzster loses control, slides right in front. Neil gets hit, and then Bradders hits Neil. Almost recovers and then goes near the wall, hits Andrea again, goes on top of him, rolls over, and start now. So as you come back from that, Cyrex then in the lead, followed by Spapper and Stevie right behind him. Through turn 2 we go. Callum hanging on the back of these boys as well. Stevie looking out to make a move on Spapper. On the straightaway he's coming across, got to be careful, got to give a bit more room because Spapper's up near the wall, but Stevie gets through into second then, and then he goes a bit wide, and Spapper goes back up the inside saying, you're not having it that easy, sunshine. Straight back through the inside and takes second place back. But meanwhile, Bidzster at the back with Andrea and Bradders is trying to make a comeback. Andrea pinning Bidzster against the wall behind his teammate, and then trying to go up the inside of Bradders, who goes really wide anyway, into the wall. So Bradders unlucky there, and his teammate goes through to chase Andrea. Meanwhile, back to Spapper and Stevie for the battle for second. Stevie on the inside, Spapper on the outside in the yellow car. Stevie gets up the inside. Through we go. As we go onto the back straight then, it's Spapper near the wall. It's Stevie who's coming across, and he's hit him! Stevie's hit him! And Spapper goes off into the air, Stevie goes off into the wall as well. Oh, clumsy driving there from Stevie. Just coming across, and Spapper couldn't really go anywhere because he's got a wall on his right. So, again, we'll get a replay on that to follow. And now let's have a look at what happened to Growly. So watch the yellow car in front. As he goes to the wall, hits the wall, and then flips over. And just hits the glitch in the wall. Here's a replay of Stevie Spapper incident on board with Collins. To watch the Spapper's following Cyrex, and Stevie's got all that room on the left, and then comes across, hits him, and then Spapper ends up flipping over, and Stevie ends up taking to the ground. Now let's take a look at that on board with Stevie. So look, we've got all this room on the left to go for. I see we've got all this room on the left. Yes, they're coming towards each other, but Stevie's got all that room to the left to move over a bit, but doesn't move over. Decides to try and keep his space, but then contact is made, and then they both go off. So So as we come back from that then, Bidzster and Andrea trying to make a comeback in 9th and 10th, obviously just trying to use each other to try and catch up to the pack. But meanwhile, oh, camera's gone funny, guys. 1 minute. There we go. Oh, got another accident further behind. Growley is off. And I can't see because the camera's gone funny. I do apologise. But Growley's gone off and TY or someone else, whatever's happened. So something happened there, but the cameras went dodgy. So we'll have to get a replay on that. Okay, here's a replay of the incident that we didn't see what happened really. So we'll go around here and see Azadar Blade having a problem there. Spapper goes into the wall and then loses control of the car, then hits Azadar. But Azadar was going quite slow anyway. And then we come across, bang, into the air. And there was contact with Andrea, and Andrea didn't really have anywhere to go there. And then Bradders goes through, and to that. Okay, now let's have a look at that incident from the outside. So we're watching Spapper here. Azadar Blake going quite slow on the inside. Spapper hits the wall, loses control of the car, comes across and hits Azadar, unfortunately, and goes round, but then loses it again. Andrea wrong place, wrong time, bang! As we finally go around in the air. Thank God it's a video game, otherwise that would have been a fatality. But then we get going and we join. So it was Spapper that went off then. So Spapper went off there, and so he's recovered then. So let's get a bit of an order in this race then. So Cyrex in the lead by 1.5 seconds from Callum in second. There's Callum in second, there we go. So Callum in second place. Obviously his teammate Stevie in third, but he'll be under investigation for that incident with Spapper. So he'll be running with a cloud over his head. And then we've got Neil Farmack in fourth, there he goes. Neil Farmack in fourth, so a decent fourth place for Neil so far. Growly Bear in fifth, round it there he is in the yellow car. Growly Bear in fifth, he's Spapper's teammate. We've got TY following him behind in sixth, you can see him there. Bidzster making a comeback in seventh place, there he goes. So Bidzster trying to make a comeback here. After winning the first race, he'll want to try and get more points on the board. Andrea in eighth, Bradders ninth, Spapper in 10th, and Azadar unfortunately back down in 11th. But Azadar has got a throttle problem, because he's not getting full throttle on the car. He's only getting about 90% throttle. So around here, that's not good, because obviously it's majority straight. So there's only 4 corners, all the rest of it's flat out. So not good for Azadar here. So hopefully he'll be able to soldier on to the end, unless the problem develops even worse. But there goes Bradders. He's trying to catch up to Andrea. Bidzster trying to catch up as well. So a little bit more spread out now. But again, it should close up as the race goes on. As we go down the straight and watching Growley then. You've always got to watch out for the pit stops in this. Remember, there's a mandatory pit stop. You've got to change all 4 tyres. Obviously no fuel needed because we're not running fuel in this championship, but just all 4 tyres must be changed. So the pit stop should last in between 10 and 13 seconds for all 4 tyres. If you look at Growley and TY then, TY catching up to Growley, he's in the draft. As we go down the straight, there's Growley with TY behind. A little bit of a misshaped nose cone from the race start, but never mind. As we go down the straight then, down towards turn 3. Growley turns in, and TY closing with every wheel turn. That's what the draft does. Not necessarily that Growley's going slow, but that's what the draft does. Even with no aerodynamics on this car, they're going that fast that the cigar shape and the wheels obviously make a nice little hole in the air, and TY can catch up. As you can see there, look at the speed difference. TY closing, but catching up's one thing, passing's quite another, as the legend Murray Walker did say. So we'll have to see if Growley can keep TY behind. As we go round turn 2, onto the back straight. This is where TY should be able to close in, but he goes a bit wide and glances the wall. That's not going to help. That's lost him a couple of tenths. So he doesn't want to be doing that every lap. As we look back at Andrea then, he's trying to keep up with Bidzster. Oh, Andrea's had an off somewhere. He's gone really slow there. Andrea's had an off, so we'll get a replay on that. So as we come back from that then, Andrea recovers from that little faux pas there. And Bradders goes through to take 8th position. Spapper coming up behind as well. So the 2 Italians not having a good race in this. So Andrea and Spapper, both Italians, not having a very good race in this. As Bradders goes very close to the wall there. Bradders playing daredevil with the wall. As we look at, let's have a look at Growley and TY. Still very close for 5th and 6th. Round turn 1, round turn 2, lap 9 out of 47 now. Onto the back straight. TY taking a bit of a tighter line to get a better run out the corner. Into the draft, you can see the gap at the top of the screen. See TY's gap to Growley, it's closing. Closing. 3/10 in it. And TY goes for a wider line here. Then goes for the wall, and he's hit the wall, I think, and he's off. Sideways across the track. And he's recovered just about. And gains on the way, so he's on the way again, TY. So sorry about that, guys, just had a bit of a lump in my throat there. So, but we're all good. As Andrea then, he's behind Bradders somewhere around here. There he is. So Andrea, he's past Bradders. Andrea passes Bradders then into 8th place. Bradders back down to 9th. So Bradders got to try and stick with Andrea now if he can, and he's got Spapper not too far behind him. Remember, Spapper was scrapping for first place with Bidzster in the first race, so he'll have some good pace. So Bradders has got his work cut out for him here. We'll have to see how good he is and see if we can keep him back. But meanwhile, Growley's got a bit more, obviously a lot more clear air around him now because of TY's demise, so he'll try and get his foot down and try and see what he can do. So Cyrex in the lead then after 10 laps. Cyrex in the lead by 2.2 seconds from Callum, so he's pulled it out a little bit. So Cyrex loves these ovals. He was dominant in the NASCAR when we came here, so in the previous championships, and so Cyrex does like the ovals. Callum is second, trying to stick with him. Then it's Stevie in third, Callum's teammate, so a good team showing here. Neil Farmack in 4th position. Growley in 5th, though. Has he had a little off there? Because Growley looks like he had a bit of an off there or something, or it might have just I thought he was lapped RZR, that's what it was. He was just lapping RZR, so RZR still struggling with the throttle problem. So you can hear it, you can just hear it not on full power there, and it's just, you can't, we'll hear it more on the straight. Well, actually we'll be able to see the visual on the straight actually, because if we look here on board with well, we don't have to even go on board, we'll just be able to see from the outside. Look here, look. That's the difference between 90% throttle and full throttle. Bidzster, you're not even in the draft. Catching up, and straight past before the corner probably. There we go. Yep, straight past before the corner. So that's what 10% less power does to you. That's probably about 60 less horsepower out of the engine as well, which doesn't help. So RZR are really struggling here. But good on him for keeping going so far. As we look at Growley in 5th, let's have a look and see if we can find any other battles on circuit. Bradders and TY's closing up to him slowly, so Bradders still struggling in this car. So not very controller friendly this one, because Bradders on the controller with TY. Obviously Callum's on the I think he's on the controller unless he's got his wheel out for this one, but we'll have to see. But Callum in a solid 2nd place then, but he still can't do it about Cyrex. Cyrex pulling ahead, maybe a couple of tenths a lap still. So, and on an oval, that's quite a decent gap. So, got to try and put his foot down here, Callum, somehow. Even though his foot's probably through the floor in that car, but we'll have to see what he can do. But we'll have to watch out for the pit stops. That could be the game changer in this one. I would imagine most of the pit stops will be around maybe the 20-25 lap mark, because that's when people probably want to pit around half distance, because the tyres are usually quite good on this car. So we'll have to see what people's strategies are. There's Andrea still making his comeback from the race start. Obviously Bidzster about 9 seconds ahead. Obviously Andrea ran into Bidzster at the start, so I would imagine therell be a cloud over his head as well for a penalty, so we'll see. But all penalties, they don't affect the current race, they affect the race after. So they'll, if anyone gets a penalty, it'll affect the next round at Zolder. So it'll affect the first race of that one. So the first race of the next round will be the penalties. Will be the penalties that are carried over from this one. So obviously I don't like having the penalties actually affect the overall race outcome. As we go around turn 1 with Andrea then. He's catching up to Bidzster slowly, but it's quite a decent gap to Bidzster in 6th place. There's TY, let's have a look back at there's the pit garage. So TY catching up to Bradders here. I think Bradders just made a little error there. You can hear his engine note a bit lower, and the car going very low on the oval as well. So Some weird lines there from Bradders, but still not doing too bad as TY closes in. Obviously, I think Bradders made a mistake back there, so TY closes in on 10th, on a possible 9th place. As we look, so look at Stevie then in 3rd. He's still tootling round with the cloud over his head from earlier. So all a bit more spread out now, but again the pit stops could put pay to that. So we could see some different strategies with the pits. We'll have to keep an eye and see. Look, TY's catching up to Bradders here. 1.3 seconds in it. He'll be well within a draft now. He'll probably be starting to get a little bit of a toe on the straight. It's not round the corners, but on the straight probably a little bit. As we go around turn 2. Yeah, both these guys definitely on a controller. You can tell there from how the wheels are angled. Let's have a look and see if Callum's on a controller actually. Let's have a look at see how he's turning into the corners. Let's have a look as we come out of this corner. Let's look into this one, and I think it's safe to say that Callum's on the wheel in this one because he's not really putting the overall amount to lock on. So good on Callum here. As we look, Bradders has been passed by, has he? Yeah, he has been passed by TY. So TY has got Bradders there. So TY moves ahead. Bradders is now going to try and stay with TY, but that was very wide at that corner. Oh, Spapper's gone round. Spapper's spun. He's doing donuts everywhere. Spapper's spun and he's thinking, right, okay, sod it, time to do my pit stop. So the first pit stop then by Spapper on lap 15. So obviously he's spun into the pit lane, so we'll get a quick replay on that now. Okay, here's a replay on how Spapper lost it going into the pit. So you see a car spun off there. Then we go around here, go a bit wide, hit the wall, bang, round we go, onto the inside. We lose control, we're going backwards. And then we eventually get the car spun round and we think, right, okay, I've spun, I've lost time, let's head for the pits. And let's just see what that other car was. It was RZR Blades. You see, he comes around that corner there, and then it was okay around that one. Then into turn 4, there's a big time slapper on the way in, and goes up in the air, and then it ends up upside down on the racing line. Very dangerous, but luckily gets reset to the top of the track, and then gets going again. As we come back from that then, Cyrex is in the pits then, the race leader is in the pits behind Spapper as well. So Cyrex in the pits, so Spapper there into his pit box. Up on the jacks, getting the car up on the jacks, obviously getting the tyres changed. Cyrex is in as well, you can see there as well, Cyrex in the pits. There we go. Obviously those stops are plenty long enough for the tyres, all 4 tyres to be changed, so Spapper all good there and he's on his way out. Cyrex will be following him. So let's have a look, and Callum in the lead then from Stevie. I don't think anyone else has bothered to pit yet. There goes Cyrex out of the pit lane then. There's another car in the pits back there. Who's that? Let's have a look. Is that? Oh, it's RZR Blade. He's either coming for his pit stop or he's retiring from the race. I don't know what's happening there. Let's have a look. And the engine's off. So RZR Blade then retires from the race. Probably due to that throttle problem, so unlucky there for RZR Blade. Hopefully be able to get that sorted out for next time. We have another car in the pits. Is that Callum? Yes, Callum's in the pits here. So Callum into the pits for his pit stop, stops in the mark, up on his jacks, and then starts to get all the tyres changed, and that's going to be plenty long enough because you can see it's been stood there for a while now. There we go, and then off he goes, ready back into the race, down to the limiter. And off we go. So Stevie then takes the lead of the race. So this is going to be about timing with the pit stops as well. You don't want to lose any time on the pit lane exit and entrance as we look at Callum then coming out the pits. As Cyrex is already rejoined. Callum coming down the pit road then. There's Spapper and someone else, I think. That was Spapper and who was the car in front of him? That's Bradders. So, but Spapper has been lapped by Bradders because he's just been into the pits. So, here's Callum coming out the pits. So what you do is you go around that corner there on the inside, then you go around there on the inside, keeping within those white lines, right round here within the white lines, and then onto the back straight, accelerate up to speed on the left hand side, and then eventually move over to the right like that, just like what Callum did there, just so then you can look, you've got plenty of time to look behind you so you don't obstruct traffic. There goes Stevie in the lead, Neil second, so it's so Stevie and Neil in the lead, or in the, well, should I say at the front of this race. Growly Bear in third with Bidzster closing on him. So Bidzster closing on Growly here. So Bidzster within 1.5 seconds of Growly. So we'll have to see what's going to happen with the pit stops here as Stevie goes through. Is Neil going to pit? No, Neil goes through. Growly. So look at Growly Bear when he comes through the picture. I can't see him. Yep, Growly's coming into the pits this time. So Growly Bear into the pits then. So Growly comes into the pits. Let's go back to the trackside camera then. So that releases Bidzster. Andrea goes through there as well. He goes up in position. Sorry about the cameras, guys. It does take a while for the cameras to track on Project Cars 2, so hopefully they'll be able to fix that for Project Cars 3. I know I keep mentioning it in every video, but I'm going to keep mentioning it until Project Cars 2 eventually fix the problem, because it would be a lot better, because Gran Turismo get it right, so I don't know why Project Cars can't. So across the line we go. Growly Bear still in the pits, getting his tyre change done. Off he goes. He's done his tyre change. Cyrex goes through there. So Cyrex goes through. There's Bidzster. Let's have a look and see if anyone else is going to pit. Neil and Stevie don't. Is Neil pitting? No. Bidzster will not be pitting either, I don't think. There he is behind, so Bidzster's not pitting yet as well. So let's have a look at Growly coming out the pits then. Wherever he is, he's around here somewhere. There we are. He's just coming out the pits now. So Growly comes out the pits. And then as he goes along the inside road there, he's gone onto the track. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, wow. He's not really rejoining very safe there. So Growly Bear, hopefully will now go around the inside of this next corner. No, he's rejoining the track. So he's not rejoining the pit lane exit properly. He's not. That's a bit dangerous, that. Because if there were another car coming around there, that would have been very dangerous. So he didn't stick to the pit exit road. So that would be another that'll probably be a penalty hanging over Growly there, so we'll have to watch out for that in the next race as well. Meanwhile, Stevie's into the pit. Stevie's in. So Stevie's in, and he's reversing in the pit lane. He's missed his pit box. So and for reversing in the pit lane, the game will probably give you a 50-second penalty for that. So not good news there for Stevie. So that's going to really wreck his race. So because obviously we have the in-game penalties on now, since a few people were complaining before about the my own systems and that. So we've got the in-game penalties on now, which are a lot more harsh than what I used to do. So but that's what people have got. So, and also it frees my life up a bit, because I don't have to watch for incidents all the time, because I'm not a paid FIA steward. So I'm not going to just sit there aimlessly just looking through replays all the time. I have got a life. As Bradders goes round turn 1, then 4th place for now, but people are pitting. So once Bradders pits, he'll go back down a few as Cyrex comes up to catch him there. So is Bidzster pitting yet? No. Is Neil in the pits? I think he is. Neil's in the pits. So Neil's in the pits for his pit stop. Stops up on the jacks. Or is he going up on the jacks? Oh, he's done up. That's not all 4 tyres changed. Surely no one can do a pit stop that quick. So Neil Farmight then doesn't change all 4 tyres. So again, that could have repercussions on his race. As Andrea's in the pits, and he's been very quick as well. So Andrea and Neil probably both of them not changing tyres there. So that could be penalties added to the next race. So we'll have to see. As Bidzster goes round turn 4 then. Let's see if Bidzster's going to come in this time. No, Bidzster's deciding to go a bit longer in the race. So again, you can pit any time up to the last 2 laps of the race. So lap 45 will be the last time to pit. So Bidzster in the lead then from Bradders. So it's a team 1-2 here, but Bradders has not pitted yet, and so is Bidzster. So the theoretical leader is Cyrex there in 3rd place. And then Callum second, Neil coming out the pits. He's going to rejoin in 3rd, so at least he rejoins the pit lane properly, unlike Growly did. But they'll still have a cloud hanging over him for the next race. There's Stevie then goes through in 6th. Andrea out the pits in 7th, but again he'll have a cloud hanging over him as well, because he didn't change tyres. Growly in 8th, and again another cloud hanging over him. So plenty of clouds hanging over people in this race for the unsafe pit exit. There's TY in 9th place, then he goes round there in 9th place. Spapper in 10th round here somewhere. There he goes. Then Arzadar obviously retirement from the race. So let's see, Bidzster goes round, his Bradders in. Has Bradders been into the pits? No, not yet. So again, these two cars leaving it quite late in the race. Cyrix has gone through to take second place, but Bidzster and Bradders not pitting yet. So we'll have to see what's going to happen here with Bradders and Bidzster, because they've both not pitted yet. But again, probably just a different strategy, wanting to go a bit longer into the race. So let's have a look at Bradders here. He's round here somewhere. There he goes. He's got Callum past him on the inside. He knows that he's probably going to go for the pits this time. I think he is slowing up. Is he slowing up for the pits or not? No, he's going round again. So Bradders goes round again. Let's have a look and see if we've got anyone else close on track. We've got Stevie in back there. I think we've got Bidzster coming into the pits. Bidzster's in. Bidzster's into the pits then for his pit stop. Slows right down to the line. Down to the pit lane limiter. Oh, TY's been in for his stop as well. So TY's been in for his. And Bidzster stops up on the jacks. There we go. I can obviously, because it's my car, you can see the tyres going up on the jacks. And then obviously the tyres will be changed and then he'll be rejoined the race. So Cyrix then will retake the lead here, because Bidzster's got to go down all that pit lane and get out again. And Cyrix about to take back the lead of the race. As we go through here. Through we go with Cyrix. And Bidzster will be coming down the pit lane here. We might be able to see him, we can hear him, but we can't see him yet. As Cyrix goes through then into the lead of the race. Bidzster still going down the pit lane, you can see there. There's Callum in second place then. Where's Bidzster going to come out? Bidzster's going to come out here. Let's have a look on board with Bidzster here. So there goes Neil, third place. As I think Bradders is into the pits as well. Bradders into the pits further behind, so he's getting his service done. So Bidzster rejoins them. Where's Stevie? There's Stevie. So Bidzster might be up to... Stevie's hit the wall, that's not going to help. So Bidzster's still trying to get up to speed. Trying to go, sliding the car out the pits. Obviously not designed to go on the flat surface, this car. And then out the pits we go, and he's got Stevie right behind him. So Stevie then catches up with the pit stops. So Stevie then right behind Bidzster. Sorry about that, guys, just had a coughing fit, but all good. We're back here, we're all good. Into the last corner. And then Bidzster in fourth place then. So, after most of the pit stops are done then, I think Bradders is still in the pits with his, so he's coming out there. Bradders coming out the pits. So there goes Bradders, he's keeping to the inside like you should. Follow the red on the map, it's a little red line, follow that round. He's sort of gets it, there we go. Goes round there and then rejoins the track. So after all the pit stops then, it is Cyrix in the lead of the race. There we go, and TY is just behind him, who's just lapped. So TY gets a nice draft off the leader then. So Cyrix in the lead, followed by Callum in second place. There we go, Callum. A nice second place for him, some decent points on the board if he can keep it like this to the end. Neil Farmack in third position. There we go, Neil Farmack in third here. As we go across the line, then it's going to be Bidzster in fourth. He's about to lap his teammate here. So Bidzster about to lap his teammate, so this is going to be fun. How easy is Bradders going to make it for him? But I think Bidzster will be saying to him, don't back off, just keep up with your current pace and I'll get round you, maybe, or we'll have to see how it's going to pan out. As we go onto the back straight, I would imagine Bidzster will do it on the back straight. He'll get in the draft and pass him there. Round we go, and he goes tight on the exit and goes past Bradders, who gives him a little bit more space, and then obviously the two teammates now can work together. Bradders can get in Bidzster's draft and try and pull him ahead, and also it might help Bidzster with Stevie as well, because Bradders might not be able to make it too easy for Stevie to get through. So we'll have to see how that's going to pan things out. Let's have a look at Stevie then when the camera wakes up. Wakey wakey cameras, hello, there we go. So into turn 4 we go. Stevie then following Bradders, who was a lap down with Bidzster ahead, but Bradders will want to stick with his teammate as much as he can to try and get through. And Stevie will be wanting to get past Bradders as quick as he can to try and get up to Bidzster, but he'll quite happily sit there and take the draft off Bradders while he can, as Bradders goes a bit wide there, very wide into the wall. Oh, wow, into the wall there, and now Stevie will definitely be close enough. He'll probably be able to draft past on this straight anyway, as Bradders is going to move to the side, or is he going to keep going? He's going to keep going. So Bradders helping his team leader out a little bit here as we go down to turn 3. Down to turn 3 we go. Stevie still can't get round Bradders, but again, really, on the oval, he's not really holding him up as much. Now he'll be holding him up, but now he'll lift off a little bit, go a bit wider here, let him go. So he did hold him up for a little bit for Bidzster, but didn't do it too bad. So quite fair there from Bradders, because he don't want to lose too much speed himself, because he is racing himself. So that's what a lot of people tend to forget, that the guys that lower down the grid, they are actually racing themselves as well. So they don't always want to lift out of it. It's not like, we don't do it like Formula 1 where it's blue flag, you must move out of the way or else. We don't do it like that. Blue flags I consider as the MSA rule book, the Motorsport Association rule book. I like to refer to that one where the blue flag is advisory, it's not mandatory. It basically just means a stationary blue flag. Just look in your mirror, you've got someone approaching you, and a wave blue flag, that person's about to pass you right now. So it just basically makes the other driver a bit more aware of what's happening around him. Whereas in the FIA rulebook, it is blue flag, you must move out of the way and let the leaders through as soon as possible, now, or else. So that's one of the occasions where I like the MSA rulebook over the FIA. As we go round with Cyrex then, in the lead of the race, he's about to catch up to a bit more traffic there, as I think that's Spapper that we're about to catch and pass, I think it is. Spapper in 8th place, so Cyrex with a little bit of traffic then to get through. TY's lost it, big time, in the background. Oh, he's come back across, and he's gone backwards into the pit lane. That's not going to help his cause. But TY there, is he able to get going? Spins it round in the pits, backwards into the pit lane, and then gets on with it and has to put the speed limiter on. So unfortunately for TY there, but that was a bit weird, but we'll just get a replay on how that started. Okay, here's the replay, what happened to TY on lap 29, going around here. We go wide, bang, hit the wall, round we go, into the wall again, back onto the track, and then get out of the way, and then puts the power on, trying to get round, and then hits the foam marker board on the way into the pits. I have to say that was a spectacular pit lane exit, and that is quite a neat 180 to get back going. As we come back from that then, let's have a look at, let's go back to the trackside cameras. There we are, on with Bidzster. Stevie's still behind, but Bidzster pulling out a little bit of a gap over Stevie now, so 2.4 seconds over Stevie. We go around turn 2 with Bidzster. Stevie just going around turn 2 there onto the back straight. And we've got Andrea and Stevie getting a bit closer to each other here. So Andrea closing on Stevie, but again he's not closing on a huge rate of knots, but he's closing in nevertheless. There's Callum there in second place, a very nice second place for Callum so far. A little bit more spread out in this race now. I think everyone up to Spap has been lapped, as we see TY coming out the pit, so obviously after that little faux pas he had earlier. Here's Growley going through there. There's Cyrex on the back straight then. He's just past Spapper to lap him, so everyone up to Spapper has been lapped. So Cyrex, dominant fashion in this race, 8.5 seconds ahead of Callum, and on an oval that is quite a decent gap. So a really good job here by Cyrex so far in this race. Nice look to the wall, showing us all how it's done. Spapper following in the footsteps of the master at work. Go down the straight then, let's have a look at Andrea's gap over Stevie, and it's 1.8 seconds. As you can see from the top of your screen, you can see the rough gap between the two cars, and it's 1.5 seconds now to start. Oh, the car off, who's that? Let's wait till the camera gets to it. Who's that? That was Stevie. A massive error there for Stevie. So Stevie and Andrea close together now. So Stevie, some kind of mistake there. We'll get a replay. Okay, here's the replay. What happened to Stevie then? So going around here, we see he goes very wide and then hits the wall. Hits the wall and entrance to turn 4. Loses it. Just about manages to recover, but then goes onto the grass again. Then yeah, just manages to keep it going, but he's lost enough time for Andrea to pass him. And as we come back from that then, Andrea takes 5th place from Stevie then, who's now got quite a big gap from over Growley there. There he goes. So Stevie goes around following Andrea now. So Andrea picks up the pieces of Stevie's mistake. And I would imagine, actually, I think Andrea's slowly closing in on Bidzster as well, so Bidzster might have to watch out here in these last handful of laps, the last quarter of the race. But meanwhile, Callum still losing time from Cyrex, so Cyrex still gunning it in this race. Where's the camera gone? There we go. Camera went funny then for a minute, but we're back with Cyrex 9.3 seconds ahead of Callum now. Big gap. Andrea, meanwhile, he's got Stevie behind him, so this could be a nice little battle to watch for the end of the race. And we go around turn 1 and into turn 2. Andrea with a nice line there. Stevie a bit more to the inside, but still it's the preferable line because there are quite a few different lines to take on ovals. Some cars might be set up to go to the inside a bit better, some cars might be a bit more looser so they can go to the outside. Again, it depends what the driver feels or prefers. So watching this battle then. Andrea closing to Stevie. Let's have a little onboard then with Stevie. Let's go on the roof cam with Stevie and see if he's closing into Andrea here. So on the straight you can see the time at the top of the screen going down and you can see the gap visually getting closer. And then we go into the corner, a little bit of turbulent air from the car in front, and but Stevie does manage to turn the car in quite well there. So quite good lines there from both. Into turn 2. Again, Andrea looking like he's got the upper hand on the corners, but then onto the straight, Stevie will get the draft and start closing. You can see the gap closing in at the top of the screen. Closing, but then we get to the corner and Andrea will pull it out again. So again, it's a bit of a to and fro, tug of war battle here between the two. And let's have a look at Bidzster, slightly ahead of this pack when there we go! Bidzster ahead of this pack then. Only 3.5 seconds in front of Andrea, 4.8 seconds behind Neil. So a bit on his own here. A lot of people on their own in this race. It's just how racing pans out sometimes. Sometimes it can be really close and intense battles. Sometimes it's a battle of consistency and just trying to keep the consistent lap times and not make a mistake. Which I have to hand to most people on this race. They've actually done quite a good race without many mistakes. Obviously the first bit of the race was a bit hectic, but then it's all seemed to unfold itself and calm down from there, which is good. So 10 laps left in this race then, and 10-second gap for Cyrex between him and Callum, so still pulling out that gap. He's managed to ditch Spapper as well, so Spapper's lost his draft. So Cyrex pulling out his gap and still being very consistent. There's Callum then in second, going round turn 2. It's a very good job here by Callum as well. He's getting used to his wheel, and this will be a good result for him on his new wheel. As Neil Farmack goes through in third position. Oh, it hits the wall. What a recovery. Just brushes the wall and then rejoins, but again that's lost him a bit of time. You can see the gap closing down from him to Bidzster now. So he's lost himself about a second there in doing that. So you don't want to be doing that all the time, Neil. Otherwise you'll have Bidzster rubbing his hands together and thinking, I'm a lot closer now. But still 3 seconds in it. So Bidzster's going to have to really get his head down here if he wants to try and catch Neil. 2.8 seconds now, so Neil's obviously lost his rhythm a bit. He's got to get his rhythm back. There's Andrea and Stevie then, they're still quite close, but Andrea has managed to pull out of the pull out a gap so that Stevie can't get the slipstream. So Andrea on the move then in 5th place. There's Stevie in 6th. He's trying to stick with Andrea, but Andrea out trumping him here. Stevie goes to the inside, catches the grass. That's not going to help. Might lose a bit of time from doing that, and he is. He's lost about a tenth or two doing that. By the time he gets to the end of this straight. So let's have a look at Cyrex then. Still in the lead. Spapper still trying to stick with Cyrex. Let's have a look at Bradders then. He's further back. He's couple of laps down on the leaders, but still he's running consistently, and a 9th place looks set for him. So points down to 10th in this championship. because not down to 15 like the usual point system. It's the modern Formula 1 point system that we're using, so points go down to 10s. But unlike F1, we have an extra point for fastest lap and an extra point for pole position as well. So watch out for those as well. They can make all the difference. So over the course of the season, that could be quite a few extra points as Bradders goes and hits the wall, but just about gets away with it. So Bidzster goes round turn 4 then, on to the front straight, nicely round there, good lines again, 2.4 seconds to Neil, but he can't quite make it any lower, because Neil's keeping the gap consistent to him, as everyone else is trying to do. Everyone's trying to aim to not make any mistakes and keep the gap same so that he can stay in those positions, but one mistake by any of these boys, one major mistake, and they'll be down a position or two, so you've got to watch out for that. Onto the straight then. Let's have a look at Callum in second place. Where is he? There he is. Callum in second place. Also remember his teammate is Stevie, so it's not going to be too bad of a showing. A second and a sixth so far. Cyrex's teammate is Neil Farmax, so that's a first and a third for them so far in this one. So, but let's see here, Callum catching up to Spapper to lap him. Into turn 1. Spapper, I would imagine, will probably let him go on the back straight or even the front straight when they come round again. But yeah, Cyrex and Neil looking for a good first third here, and Bidzster and Bradders looking for a 4th and 9th. And then we've got Spapper and Growley, unfortunately, in 7th and 8th, so not good for them. And Andrea on his own because Blakeney's not here this week, unfortunately. But hopefully Blakeney should be returning for Zolder next round. As Bidzster still trying to close in on Neil. Roughly the same gap, maybe a 10th or 2 in it, but still can't quite close up on Neil Farmack, who, when the camera gets to him here, there he is, just about holding on to a solid 3rd place in this race, so doing very well so far. We've just got to watch out for the tyres going off at this stage of the race. Got to watch the temperature in that front right tyre, because as it wears out, it will there'll be a bit less grip, and obviously with it being all left-hand corners, the front right tyre takes an absolute punishment. But if you look, the car is actually set up to take the ovals because the cockpit's more to one side on the chassis, just so it helps the centre of gravity out around the corners and helps the suspension work a bit better. So that's why these cars aren't very good on the flat. As you can see there, going down the straight, Neil Farmack, nicely done down the straight. As we look at Stevie then, still about, well, he's about 2.9 seconds ahead of Andrea. So Andrea must have made a mistake somewhere because they've swapped. So we'll get a replay. Okay, here's a replay. What happened to Andrea then to lose the 5th place on lap 42. So he goes very wide, hits the wall, spins to the inside. There, the camera picks him up. There he is on the grass. So then he's going to try and rejoin this. And he comes across onto the track. Whoa, just misses Stevie. Very dangerous there. He should have just kept to the inside as he rejoined. So I would imagine he'll get a warning for that as well. Okay, now let's get a look from Stevie's point of view. As we can see Andrea rejoining there. We think now he's going to stick to that infield road. But then watch this, comes really close to the inside. Whoa, just misses us on the inside. And as we come back from that, the two yellow cars, Spapper and Growley, the 2 teammates, very close to one another. So this could be a nice little battle to round off the race. So Spapper's been lapped by Callum, but Growley and Spapper on the same lap there, but Growley closing up and Spapper lets him go. So Spapper lets Growley go. Obviously Spapper knows that he's not got much pace in this race. He's having a bit of a bad race, so he thinks, right, I'll let my teammate through, I'll follow my teammate round and try and get some of my rhythm back. Good idea from Spapper there. So we'll see how that pans out as the race goes on. Growley goes into the corner a bit deep, but recovers it. So this could turn out to be a nice little battle here, because I think Spapper's picked himself up a bit. As we go out of this corner, Growley goes down to the inside. As you go into the... Oh, I thought you were into the pits then, Growley. What's he doing? But across the line more or less side by side now. The two yellow cars as Growley comes across, slice and then hits the wall. That were a bit dangerous in front of your teammate. I won't want to repeat that myself, but pretty pretty close there between Growley and Spapper, but at least there wasn't an incident, which is the main thing. As we look at Stevie and Andrea then, so Andrea really going backwards in this one now. He's gone 3 seconds behind Stevie, so not good here for Andrea. Losing a lot of time, little mistakes here and there. As we look at the two yellow cars, Spapper and Growley, the teammates. Growley ahead of Spapper, but will it stay that way? Because Spapper's got his rhythm back now, he's got his mojo back, and he'll be wanting to try and pass Growley for position. These two really, really good mates in real life. But obviously on the track, all that goes out the window as we go down the straight. Spapper's going to try and take back 7th place here. He's on the inside of Growley into turn 1. Who's going to take it into turn 1? It's Spapper on the inside. Growley has to back out of it. So Spapper clearly wanting to be the best driver in the team. So Growley will have marked his cards there and see what he's going to do now. But Spapper meanwhile is Cyrex meanwhile is on. Not many names on this one that start with S. But the replay unfortunately ends there because the replay didn't hold all the end of the race. So I do apologise for that, but it didn't hold all the end of the race. But we'll get those results confirmed for you now so you can see. Okay guys, after that race got cut short there, I'm really sorry about that, but that was the game that did that. But here's the results. Cyrex wins. Well done to Cyrex. Callum gets 2nd. 3rd for Bidzster. Neil gets 4th. Andrea comes home in 5th. Stevie gets 6th. 7th for Spapper. 8th is Growley. Bradders comes home in 9th. And unfortunately, TY gets DQ'd. Okay guys, and now on to the points. So it's Bidzster in the lead on 40, Callum on 33, Cyrex 31, Spapper 24, and Stevie, Andrea and Neil all on 20 points for 5th place. So very close there. Growley, Arzadar and Bradders are the other people that scored as well. Stevie and Callum leading the teams from Cyrex and Neil, Bidzster and Bradders, Spapper and Growley. So as we come back from that then, your eventual race winner from there, unfortunately for him, was Cyrex. There he goes, but unfortunately the replay didn't hold all the race, so I do apologise for that, ladies and gentlemen, but hopefully that will be fixed for next time. But that's Project Cars replays for you, so I do apologise for that. So Slack the Mad Studios, please sort that out, because it is embarrassing for yourselves. But Cyrex wins that race then, so well done to Cyrex, 25 points for him. And we will see you guys next time at Zolder. Take care, guys.